Shohei Ohtani and Cody Bellinger kept it rolling with the power as both went yard in yesterday's games. Elly De La Cruz, he went yard as well. The Reds, they're trying to play catch up with the first place Brewers, and they might be moving on from one of their fan favorite players. And also the Orioles, they're trying to finish off a series win against the Tampa Bay Rays, and rookie Gunnar Henderson, he helped out a ton. All of that in today's MLB Recap, a series in which we recap every single game, almost every single day. And a reminder, if you're going to any baseball games or concerts anytime soon, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save yourself 20 bucks off. Now, before we get into all of the games from yesterday, I do quickly want to tip my cap to both Scott Rowland and Fred McGriff. Both of these guys, they should have been inducted into the Hall of Fame a long time ago, but they had to wait their turn because voters are kind of stupid. I'm not going to lie if we're talking about the Hall of Fame and Cooperstown. But Scott Rowland, Fred McGriff, rightfully are in the Hall of Fame now. All right, the first game from yesterday, we have the White Sox at the Twins, and it should shock me that the White Sox did not win this game, but then again, we're talking about the 2023 White Sox, and they're just bad. They blew a 3-run lead after Lucas Giolito struck out 9 Twins over 5 shutout. His trade value is skyrocketing at the right moment. Minnesota, they waited 9 innings to unleash their hounds, and after 2 doubles from Carlos Correa and Alex Kirilloff, it's now a tie ball game. It's 3-3. Now, Chicago did reclaim the lead in the 10th inning, but then they lost it in the bottom half because right fielder Oscar Colas looked like a baby giraffe trying to catch that baseball, so Joey Gallo, he scored on that sac fly. Now, it stayed tied going into the 12th when Ryan Jeffers, he got his chance to walk it off, and he did just that. The Minnesota Twins, they've won 3 in a row. Rumors are swirling that TA7 Tim Anderson of the White Sox is about to get traded, and the Blue Jays, they're apparently inquiring about him, but we'll talk about that later on. Let's talk about the Rockies and Marlins game. Jesus Luzardo was so nasty against the Rockies yesterday. He allowed just 4 base hits and 1 run over 7 frames. He had 10 strikeouts through 6. That's when Luis Ariz, he clutched up to tie it, and Miami, they actually took the lead on a Yuli Gurriel sac fly. Jesus, he went out there for the 7th inning. He got all 3 outs via the strikeout, so that's 7 innings, 1 earned run, 13 punch outs on the day. Now, the Rockies tied it, so the Miami Marlins did end up losing the lead, so it's 2-2 for Luis Ariz in the 9th inning, and one of the craziest shifts I've ever seen. Every single outfielder was moved to the infield, so no one was in right field to catch that walk-off right there. Luis Ariz, he walks it off as the Marlins win 3-2. Here's a storyline I did not expect in 2023. Anthony Rizzo, who is a power hitter, has not hit a home run in 45 games. So not only is New York going for a sweep, but they're trying to get Rizzo going as well. There's Glaber, he belted a 2-run tater for his 16th of the season. And then Anthony Rizzo, he doubled in another to make it a 3-run first, make it a 4-run first inning. Harrison Bader, he brought home Anthony Rizzo. And would you look at that? Jesus might be coming back, folks. Make sure you repent because Anthony Rizzo, he finally went yard. He broke his 45-game homerless streak. The Yankees, they went 8-5, but the story of the game is Anthony Rizzo. He goes 4 for 4. He had a home run as the Yankees, they sweep the Royals. Here we go, the Giants and the Nationals. This is a real sentence, but the Washington Nationals are going for their first series sweep since 2021. It's been 2 years, and it's against the San Francisco Giants of all teams who have the 2nd best record in baseball over the last 60-65 games. Dom Smith, he drove in Lane Thomas and Joey Meneses on a single in the 1st, and Stone Garrett made it a 3 spot in the 3rd inning. Lane Thomas, he had 3 more base hits in this game, including that RBI double. I also want to mention Lane Thomas stole 4 bags in this game. He's on pace to hit 295 with 26 home runs and 20 stolen bases. He also throws 101 in the outfield. Anyways, things got a little bit gory. A Mackenzie Gore pun, I'm sorry. He blanked San Francisco over 5 innings. He looked untouchable with 8 strikeouts, and CJ Abrams, he went off again. He's hitting .372 with 3 home runs and 6 stolen bases over his last 10 games. The Nationals, they're 6-4 over their last 10 games. So the Reds are also looking for a sweep, and Elly De La Cruz, he got this one started with a bang. Elly, he has a pretty bad ground ball rate, so it's nice to see him lift the ball for once. Speaking of lifting, Nick Senzel, he lifted off, so the Reds, they're looking pretty good, but one more home run. This one off the bat of NL Rookie of the Year, Corbin Carroll. He has a home run in back-to-back games as a rookie. He has 21 home runs and 29 stolen bases. It's not even August yet. So that clutch 2-run, 450-foot moonshot tied things up, but Cincinnati, they quickly took their lead back. They got a double from Jake Fraley as well as some singles from Spencer Steer and Christian Encarnacion Strand. Now it's a 7-3 ball game. CES, that is just Christian Encarnacion Strand. He has 6 RBIs in his first 7 games, and a crazy stat for you guys. The starting pitcher of this game for the Reds, Luke Weaver, he's 9-1 over his last 10 games. So you're thinking he probably has a 1 ERA. He has an 8.79 ERA, but he's 9-1. #baseball. Now, early this morning, after the Reds won this game, rumors started swirling that they're going to be shipping off Jonathan India. Now, again, this is a rumor, but it kind of makes a lot of sense because the 2021 NL Rookie of the Year has 14 home runs and 12 stolen bases, but his OPS plus is under 100, and he plays terrible defense. And Cincinnati, they are loaded with infield prospects. Noelvi Marte, Christian Arroyo, I think his name is. So Cincinnati, their top prospect, Noelvi Marte, he's hitting .325 with 9 extra base hits in 17 AAA games. It makes sense to move Jonathan India, maybe for some bullpen depth, maybe for some starting pitching help at the back end of that rotation, because Andrew Abbott, while he's been amazing, there's no way that he keeps it up with a 1.9 or 2.1 ERA the rest of the way. So if you trade Jonathan India maybe to the Guardians in exchange for Shane Bieber or something like that, I don't know if that would make sense, but yeah, Jonathan India, right now he's on the trading block. What do you guys make of that? From the second place Reds to the first place Brewers, let's see if anything changes in the standings. So Travis d'Arnaud, he left everything on his 9th home run of the season, but Milwaukee, they settled in after that because it's 1-1 now after that Bryce Terang solo home run, and Owen Miller, he put Milwaukee and starting pitcher Julio Teheran out in front. Teheran, he went 6 innings with 5 strikeouts, allowed just that 1 run to the vaunted Braves offense. Now the pressure is mounting because you got 2 runners on for Ozzie Albies. He's been an RBI machine. What's going to happen? Okay, well, that happened. Ozzie Albies, he ripped a go-ahead 3-run long ball. He's got 23 home runs, 69 RBIs, and 7 runs saved defensively. That's a 7 DRS. Another crazy stat, he's the only second baseman ever to have 170 doubles and 120 home runs by age 26. Raisel Iglesias, he struck out 3. He has 18 saves. So the Reds, I forgot to mention, they won 5 games in a row. They're now just a half game back of first place, and that division is going to be an absolute just mad dash to the finish line. Now, we do have some breaking news. This happened after I did my script. That's why it's not at the beginning of today's video. But Pierce Johnson of the Rockies, I've been telling you guys all season long, he's going to get traded. He finally got traded to the Atlanta Braves. Pierce, just like Shintaro Fujinami, he's been terrible this year, but Atlanta, they love high strikeout guys, and Pierce Johnson, he has 183 strikeouts over his last 132 innings. So if they can get Pierce Johnson to limit the home runs and not allow as many walks, he could be a really, really nice addition to that Braves bullpen who could use some help. So we talked about the Reds and the Brewers duking it out for first place in their division. 2 other teams that are really duking it out right now, the Orioles and the Rays. The Orioles, they're trying to win 3 of 4, and Adley, he got it going with the double to bring home Gunnar, but in the next inning, Gunnar, he didn't need any help. This kid just turned 22 years old. He's got 16 home runs and a near 130 OPS plus, while also playing sick defense no matter where he plays. Shortstop, second base, third base, it doesn't matter to him. Now, Tampa Bay, they did show some dog in them as Yandy Diaz tied it on his 14th. Just the Orioles, they have a Hulk. Okay, not really. Rhino Hearn, he's only 6'3", but he's a big dude in my opinion. He's playing out of his mind. He muscled that one out. I thought it was going to be a kind of can of corn pop up to the left fielder. Nope, that one squeaked out. He has 8 home runs and a 145 OPS plus, while hitting .313, by the way. Santander, he made it a 2-run lead for Felix Bautista, who struck out 3 hitters again. Felix, the Mountain Bautista, now has 28 saves, a 0.92 ERA, and he's striking out 51% of the hitters that he's faced this year. Baltimore, they have a 2-game lead over the second place Rays. Here we go, the Phillies and the Guardians. This was the definition of a back and forth roller coaster game. We saw home runs from Steven Kwan and Andres Jimenez, so I was feeling good as a Guardians fan, and then J-Ram, his RBI ground out tacked on another, but Philly, they're going to claw their way back into this one in the 5th inning. Schwarber, he had an RBI single, and after Bryce Harper tied it on a ground out, Brandon Marsh, he delivered with a go-ahead single. But this is baseball. You got to expect the unexpected. Craig Kimbrell, over his last 16 innings, has struck out 23 hitters. He has not allowed a single run, and of course, David Fry is the guy to ruin that streak. That solo home run forces extras, but really, it just delayed the inevitable. Bryce Harper and crew, they teamed up for 4 runs. Alec Boehm, he sealed it on a 2 RBI single double. I can't remember what it was. Junior Marte, he got 3 straight outs for his 2nd save of the season. So Cleveland, they're now 3 games back of the Twins. And one stat I do want to show, Bryson Stott, I think he had 3 stolen bases and 4 walks. He's just the 12th player ever to do that in a single game. The Cardinals and the Cubs, the fact that I get to keep on saying belly bombs are back, I mean, it's enough to make a grown man get emotional. Cody's up to 14 home runs on the season. This one was a lefty off of the pretty crafty Jordan Montgomery. And can you believe this? Cody Bellinger is hitting .452. You heard that right. .452 with 7 home runs and 22 RBIs in the month of July. That's just 19 games. So he's got plenty of time to keep on adding to that. Chicago, they kept pouring it on as Dansby Swanson singled in 1. They got doubles from Yan Gomes and Trey Mancini. So it's 7 runs before the 4th inning. And again, that was all off of St. Louis's best starting pitcher, Jordan Montgomery. The Cardinals, in the blink of an eye, they won like 5 games in a row, whatever it was. They've lost 3 games in a row after winning game 1 of the series. I think this losing streak all but but wraps it up because there's 62 games left and they have to erase a 10-game gap in the NL wildcard standings. I don't think that's very likely. I mean, it could be possible if teams like the Giants or the Padres keep losing games. And speaking of the Padres, they dropped to 4 games under 500 after Detroit handed them an L in yesterday's game, courtesy of Spencer Torkelson and the boys. Torkelson, he got on base 3 times in this game. He now has 7 home runs, 19 RBIs, and a 142 OPS plus over his last 28 games. Is Spencer Torkelson finally breaking out? Andy Ibanez, he now has 7 home runs, and even though they didn't need it, Detroit, they went up 3-zip after a Kerry Carpenter RBI single. And shout out to the starting pitcher for Detroit, Alex Faedo. He didn't strike out a ton, he only had 2, but he held the Padres scoreless over 6. He allowed just 1 base hit on 93 pitches. Alex Lang, he's nasty. He has 17 saves as the Tigers beat the Padres 3-1. Another kind of low-scoring, close game. We have the Astros and the A's. JJ Bleday has been on a tear for Oakland over the last week. He has 3 home runs in his last 6 games. He gave rookie starting pitcher Luis Medina the lead. Now, pay attention to the rookies. Luis, he was sick. He held the Houston Astros scoreless through 4 until rookie catcher Yainer Diaz, he popped off to tie it. He has 11 home runs on the season. The Astros absolutely stole him in that Miles Straw trade a couple years ago. This game, again, it was basically ran by rookies. Rookie Tyler Soderstrom of the A's, he drove in the go-ahead run. That was off of rookie Hunter Brown, but Houston's other rookie, Corey Julks, he tied it right back up on a bases on a walk. So we're going to head to the 9th inning where Mauricio Dubon, who's not a rookie, nearly went 410 feet. Brian Abreu, also not a rookie. He struck out 2 for his 3rd save of the season. Over Brian Abreu's last 107 innings, he struck out 159 hitters, and he has a 2.2 ERA. He is so underrated. As the Astros, they do in fact beat the A's 3-2. We have the Pirates and the Angels. Brian Reynolds, he started off this next one with his 10th home run of the season, and then Shohei, he said, "That's cute. Here's my 36th home run. I have 26 more than you, Brian Reynolds." Was that Ohtani's final home run in Anaheim? You guys have to let me know in the comments. Eduardo Escobar, he smacked an RBI double, and after that, the Halos, they just started throwing haymakers. You got a home run from Andrew Velasquez, and then back-to-back home runs from Luis Rengifo. The Angels had 1 more home run, but I do want to kind of tip my cap to Taylor Ward. Another multi-hit game. He's hitting .333 with 10 RBIs over the last 9 games. He's finally hitting like 2022 version of Taylor Ward. Rengifo, he blasted off for the 2nd time, this time from the right side. He's been really good as of late as well. Carlos Estevez, he has a 2 ERA, 23 saves on the season, and don't look now, but the Angels, they can actually leapfrog the Mariners in the AL wildcard standings if Seattle loses this next game. So the Mariners are taking on the Blue Jays, and I gotta know what Mike Ford's pre-game routine is, or whatever he eats, because whatever it is, it somehow unlocks an auto home run cheat code. Mike Ford now has 11 home runs and 110 at-bats. He's the 2023 version of Yankees Matt Carpenter. But here comes Vladdy and the Blue Jays. Vladdy now has 4 home runs over his last 9 games. He has 17 on the season. Brandon Belt, he gave Alek Manoah the lead on his 8th home run, but Seattle, they quickly erased that deficit with an RBI single. I think it was in the 6th inning off the bat of Dylan Moore. Whoever scores next, they're going to win this game. And there it is. Espinal, he played at Whit Merrifield in the 7th inning. And Jordan Romano, he now has 27 saves as the Blue Jays beat the Mariners 4-3. Now the Jays, they're trying to add some reinforcements and pull off a Whit Merrifield 2.0. If you don't remember, they traded for Whit Merrifield last year. Whit Merrifield was basically an old man and washed, and I thought that there's no chance he was going to be good. He's been pretty solid for the Blue Jays, and maybe they can do the same as they did with Whit Merrifield and Kevin Kiermaier, kind of squeeze some juice out of Tim Anderson. They're trying to trade for him right now. Tim Anderson has a negative 1.1 WAR and a 57 OPS plus, but he's hitting .380 to start the 2nd half, so maybe he's going to be a sneaky trade piece, and we just don't know it. Here we go. The Mets were taking on the Red Sox, so we know that the Angels and the Mariners are fighting for a wild card spot, and so are the Boston Red Sox. And the crazy part is they're only going to get better because they're about to get Trevor Story back from the IL. He's going to be playing his first few games in the next few days, and they're actively buying at the deadline. So they dismantled the Mets yesterday. Boston, they had double-digit hits before the 3rd inning came to a close. Duvall had 2 RBI base hits. Tristan Casas, he stayed red hot with an RBI. That was right before Connor Wong scored on a wild pitch from Drew Smith. New York, they showed a tiny bit of life in the 6th with Lindor plating 1, but Rafael Devers, he got that run right back, and boy did he enjoy that trot around the bases. Rafael Devers is hitting .360 with 6 home runs over his last 19 games. I'm telling you, the Red Sox, they're not going to win the World Series in my opinion, but they could be a very, very tough opponent in a wild card or division series. Here we go, the Dodgers and the Rangers. Max Muncy, that is a grand slam off of Martin Perez, but I think think that made both Martin Perez and the Rangers mad because it was all Texas from there. Jonah Heim, this dude will not stop raking. If you don't remember, he came on over in the Elvis Andrus trade, so the A's traded away another future star. Anyways, Marcus Semien, he made it 4-3. Now it's a tie ball game. Nathaniel Lowe, he goes to center field for an RBI to score Josh Smith, and Josh Young, he singled to center as well. Marcus Semien's going to score. It's a 5-4 ball game, Texas. Make it 7-4 now as Leody Taveras, his breakout season continues. That is a 2-run double. Speaking of doubles that brought in a run, Ezekiel Duran, he scored 1, and then he actually got to third base, I think, after a few throwing errors, and I mean, it was just all bad from the Dodgers from there. The Rangers end up winning 8-4, and by the way, if this game seems rushed, it's because it is. I completely forgot to put this in my script, so this is very last minute, sorry. So we're going to do today's Immaculate Grid in just a second. This actually looks like a fun one, but let's give a quick update on the standings across baseball. The Orioles, they're 2 games up of the Rays. The Rays have been playing awfully the last few days. The Central, we know that the Minnesota Twins have won 3 in a row. The Guardians lost, so the Twins now have a 3-game lead. In the West, I know that the Rangers have lost Corey Seager and potentially Adolis Garcia, but good thing they have a 3-game cushion over the Astros. In the National League, we can see that the Braves, they're 11.5 games ahead of anyone in that division. The Reds, they've won 5 in a row, so they're just a half game back to the Brewers. And then in the NL West, the Dodgers, Diamondbacks, I mean, everyone in the NL West has lost, so nothing changed in those standings. The Diamondbacks and Giants are tied at 4 games back, and the Padres, they're 10 games back. The wild card is where things get really interesting, especially in the NL, but real quick in the AL, the Rays, the Astros, and the Blue Jays are out in front, with the Red Sox and the Yankees tied at 53 and 47. The Angels are 4 games back, so they leapfrog the Mariners. In the NL, we have the Reds, the Diamondbacks, and the Giants all in the wild card spots right now, but the Phillies and the Marlins, they're tied at a half game back. The Cubs, they're 5.5 games back. They've won 3 in a row. The Padres, they got to get it going, and then there's the Mets at 7.5 games back. So there's the update on the standings. All right, let's see if we can get this Immaculate Grid done. The Red Sox and the Yankees. I know that Andrew Miller was on both squads. I feel like that should help me with my rarity score. 0.5%. That is massive. The Rays and the Yankees. Who played for the Rays and the Yankees? Did Luke Raley ever play for the Yankees? I don't know if he has, but Hall of Fame for the Yankees. So there's so many of, there's Jeter, there's Mo, there's Mickey Mantle. I might go with someone. Is Thurman Munson in the Hall of Fame? I don't know if Thurman Munson is in the Hall of Fame, but I feel like that could be a sneaky good pick. Mickey Mantle, I feel like a lot of people are going to choose him. Who's a pitcher that I could go for the, I'm going to go Mickey Mantle because I feel like Jeter and Mo are going to be used more often. So that's 12%, not too bad. We have the Mariners and the Red Sox. This is going to be James Paxton. That's an easy one just because I've been following James Paxton. 36%. Okay, a lot of people had the same idea. The Mariners and the Rays. There's got to be someone that played, I mean, Rich Hill. Rich Hill always comes, what's that guy's name? Rodney. Fernando Rodney. He's got to be on this one. Yes, 8%. Hall of Fame for the Mariners, so we have Randy Johnson, Ken Griffey Jr., Edgar Martinez. I'm going to go with Edgar Martinez because I feel like Griffey and Johnson are going to be the guys that are ahead of him. 27%, so my rarity score is not going to be that good. 300 career saves for the Red Sox. Papelbon. Okay, Papelbon. I almost wanted to go with Kenley Jansen, so we have 300 career saves for the Rays. Who has 300 career saves for the Rays? Maybe I should have saved Fernando Rodney for this one. 300 career saves, Rays. I don't know this one off the top of my head. 300 plus save career, Hall of Fame. Eckersley. Didn't Eckersley, how do I even spell that? Eckersley has 300 saves, right? And I'm pretty sure that he's in the Hall of Fame. Yep, 8%. I really can't think of anyone, so I'm just going to hope that Lee Smith played for the Rays. Lee Smith did not play for the Rays. And then Yankees, Rays. I'm sure that someone is yelling out a very obvious pick, but I can't think of any right now. Dude, what the heck? I'm going to go with Travis Hafner. I don't think that Travis Hafner played for the Rays. He did not. Okay, now I feel really stupid. We have the Rays and the Yankees. Hall of Famer Wade Boggs. I'm just an absolute moron for that. And then a 300 career save was Fernando Rodney. Who else was in that one? I'm curious. Oh, I could have gone with Troy Percival. He played for the Rays. Who else played for the Rays? This guy right here, Fernando Rodney. Okay, that one I already used, so I couldn't have used that one. Jason Isringhausen. I could have used him as well. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's recap. Thank you all so much for watching until the end. If you did, I just want to say, again, your support means everything to me. I appreciate all the love, the comments, the views, everything like that. I'll catch you guys in the next one.